What's going on? It's WRFU up here, Urbana 104.5 FM. I want to thank you for your time and attention. A lot of madness going on, a lot of feedback. Can you turn that monitor down, man? I'm killing myself here with that, man. It's echoing me in my own ear, man. It's WRFU up here, Urbana 104.5 FM. I want to thank everyone for staying tuned with us through all the madness, all the technical difficulties. What's going on so loud with that? Folks, I want to thank you. Like I said, man, there's a lot of madness going about in the background, man. I want to thank everyone for their time and patience. All the craziness going on. DJ Armand is in the background with his boys, spinning and kicking it, relaxing. Thank you to DJ Maniac Mike, who also helped to coordinate this event, and Laura Wagner from Friction Radio and Groove Extensions, I believe, on Monday nights, 10 p.m. onwards. 10 p.m. onwards, you can catch them on Monday nights. A lot of different events that are coming forward for the rest of the semester. Let you know that April 17th is the IMC Fest, so you can come down to the IMC as part of the Boneyard Arts Festival from April 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th. You can catch different forms of art being shared from throughout the community from different forms and corners and sectors. Both students in the community coming forward to converge at the IMC 202 South Broadway. And other different areas, you'll see different art being produced and supported by local scholars. Along with that, on April 24th, we'll have Jack Pine Savage coming on the microphone with me. Along with that, Empyrean Lore is going to come through. DJ Zoe is going to come and DJ for me as well that night. May 1st, we have coming. Who's coming down May 1st for me? May 1st is going to be a debate. We're going to hopefully have it at the Asian American Cultural Center. We're going to have a debate there on the decriminalization of illegal drugs. Along with that, we're going to have a live band. I think Zmick is going to come through and do a live performance for us there as well. All kinds of, we got scholars in the building tonight. Jaclyn O'Day will be there with us as well. Andy Marillion is in the booth. DJ Armand is going to be spinning with us, along with his boy. I didn't catch his boy's DJ name as well. He's going to help kick it with me. Thank you to DJBooth.net, who's also been supporting us with live brand new music. Different tracks you have heard from months before they even come out on the more generic, shall we say, minstrel content. You know, I always give stories on the show. I tell things about myself. I tell things about situations that I've experienced, because I feel sometimes there's someone out there who's experienced something different. And maybe you didn't quite encapsulate it with the same sort of imagery as I did. And so maybe when I catch all the subject, verb, predicates and I spit them over the microphone, maybe it hits you and you take it a little bit more warmer. You get sucked into the night. Maybe you remember and have a little bit dream. And maybe the way that I experienced it, you live it a little better and have a happier ending. I'll tell you the story of something that happened to me in 2002. I had just graduated from MIT. I had actually no clue what I was doing with my life. I can honestly tell you in 2002, the summer I had just finished in June, all of my friends had basically had jobs. They were going to graduate school, and I was just there like, man, can't we just keep it going for another year? We had such a good thing. Why couldn't we just do it for one more year? And so the year the graduation came and went, my family came. You know, most of my family, they didn't go to college, much less high school. You know, they didn't finish high school, much less college. So I finished college. I had no sort of trajectory. I was fortunate. I landed an opportunity with the summer program for the Office of Minority Education called Project Interphase, which is a program to help college students or pre-college students sort of get, acclimated to what the rigor of academic life is like here and, at MIT rather. And so the program teaches them chemistry, calculus, all sorts of courses like that. And so the class, I'm teaching chemistry at that point, introductory chemistry, so it's not really that big of a deal for me. I'm teaching it. I'm the recitation assistant or whatever, teaching assistant. And so there's another student who's my year who happened to be a chemistry major, and she was teaching the regular lectures. She was always late, and I was always having to stand there for 10 minutes, standing in front of the kids like, okay, students, so today the lesson plan is going to be, and then just occupying time for like 10 minutes and whatnot. She would come to the exams and not let me see them beforehand, and then we didn't really have good communication. And so the finals came around, right? And the kids have finals, and they have to be graded by a certain date. All the final exams have to be done and submitted. All the grades have to be done by a certain date. And she didn't let me see the exam beforehand. And I'm sitting there administering the exam, and so, the grades have to be in by a certain date. And I'm talking over IM, because we had talked frequently over IM and had messages coming back and forth. And I tell her, and I'm like, is everything okay? Do you need any help? I know it's a lot of exams. We only have a certain amount of time before we give you these examinations, and you can see what it's like, and you can, we can get all the grades in. And I haven't really seen the exam, but if you let me see it and help you, I'll do whatever you need to make sure we get it finished by the deadline. She's like, no, it's okay. I'll handle it, whatever. And she's like, well, then again, she's like, I don't know if I'm even going to hand it in by time. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You don't even know if you're going to hand it in on time. Like, we need to get that in by a certain date. And I was told explicitly that we need to turn in the grades. And she's like, no, well, she starts giving all these rambling excuses. And I'm like, look, I will come over there and take the exams myself if need be. I'll grade them all. I'll get them all done by the time we need to. I'll stay up all night because but I didn't have anything else to do. It was the summertime. It's not like I had a career. I was the TA for the summer program, and they paid me to do that. So it was like, I can do that, definitely. She didn't want any help. She proceeded to say that I was bothering her, harassing her, that I was just like, you know, I was impinging upon her being able to do her job, and how she was going to report me. I was like, what? So what's going on here? What's going on? You know, like, it's like, if you need help, I'll give you the help. So what the hell are you talking about? Next thing you know, the next day I come into the TA course or whatever, and I get an email indicating to me that they want to meet with me. The dean wants to meet with me, that student had accused me of something, you know, harassment, and wanted to clarify the situation. And I was like, what the hell? I was a little bit taken aback. I go to the meeting, and I'm sitting there. Mind you, it's the Office of Minority Education. The dean is sitting there. The head dean is an old school black dude. There's a slightly younger lady, probably in her 40s, you know, assistant dean, who's sitting there on the right side of this table. Not a very big table, because, you know, the minority office is never really that big. It's always sufficiently smaller than the other offices. Anyhow, I go in there. We're in our conference room, quotations, more like an extended bathroom. And so we have this table in there. He's sitting on one edge. She's sitting on the other edge. I can literally reach them with both of my arms. And this TA, this lady sitting across from me, who's my year, Sibuhan, Sibhan. She's sitting across from me, and she starts explaining how I was harassing her, and how it was like, you know, she couldn't grade, and she was under such emotional stress from me talking to her, and telling her all these things. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And she said she didn't think she could get the grades in on time, and she's sorry, and she's damn near to tears. So you got to imagine the visual over here, right? This black dude who's the head of the dean, this younger black lady to the right of me who's, you know, sitting on my right side, and then this Caucasian TA student. And she's sitting across from him like, damn, yo, I was like Springfield Riot 1908, Birth of a Nation type stuff. And I'm like, oh, she can't be doing it to me like this. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm watching her. She's giving her whole story. And then the deans are looking very seriously. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Next thing you know, she finishes her story, and they say, Ray, do you have anything you want to say in response to that? I'm like, yo, I'm not sitting. I was like, are you going to, and I looked her dead in her face. I was like, are you really going to sit there and say all this stuff is true? And they're like, wait, don't talk to her. Don't talk to us. Talk to us and talk to us. And I was like, well, here's a 10, 15-page document with the conversation we had with all the pertinent areas highlighted. And here's where she indicated that she was going to accuse me of harassment. And here's all the parts where I was yelling at her for telling her, you know, that this is wrong. And how, you know, I basically thought that, you know, she was being irresponsible by being late to class all the time, and how it was okay, but I wanted to work past it and start afresh and get all the grades in on time. And then I handed it to them, and the assistant dean looks at it for less than 10 seconds. And she's like, okay, this is over. And we walk out. I'm like, what the hell? And then the dean is walking with me. The dean is walking over with me, and he comes over with me out the office, and I'm like, what just happened there? I'm like looking at him like, what just happened? You know, I want to file a complaint or something. Talk to somebody, because I don't know what the hell just happened here. And I'm just sitting here. He's like, nah, Ray, you should just take it easy, because, you know, it's not that, you know, I've been through all this kind of stuff before. It's not that big of a deal. Her dad is a professor at such and such a location, and she's in the chemistry department. She has stuff that's, you know, she's done stuff like this before. And I'm like, damn, you know, and I was going through so much stuff at that point already that was like the most stressful situation what I was in. But just the way that it took me by storm, and I was like, man, I didn't expect it from that corner. And so people tune into the show, man, and sometimes you expect something from a different corner, and I give them something different, you know. People act like they see me in a certain situation and context. They may not have been privy to all of the information, you know. You come in, you look at a situation, you look at it from a third party, you never know what you're going to get, you know. You see a situation, it looks so crazy, and then when you learn the details behind it, like, wow, that just looks so stupid. How could it be just so idiotic? How could it just get to that level, you know? But I got a lot of guests in the house, man. Jaclyn O'Day's in the house with me, Andy Marillion. I come in here, spit a little bit of art form, a little spoken word, I guess you could say. I'll talk about life and situations, you know, from my perspective and the way that it happened to me. I don't try to project any ignorance. I could tell you about a lot of different things. I could talk about a lot of different things. But the things I'll talk about, hopefully, you can connect to see a little bit of truthfulness within yourself and within the other different situations. I got DJ who's going to spin up here for me, man. Step up to the DJ booth, man. Come over here and start spinning for me, man. I know it's all crazy for all the folks who are out there. Like I said, man, it's WRFU up here, Urbana 104.5 FM. What are you going to get when you tune into the show? You get a little piece of reality, man. You get politics and bullshit. We talk about situations that may or may not affect you. They may or may not affect you, at least from what you think, man. At least not in a direct fashion. But indirectly, maybe somehow, some way, it's penetrating and spit at you, man. Turn the monitors on. Do what you need to do. Like I said, turn something on, man. Turn something on, man. Turn the volume up. Turn the level down. Spin it with me. Spin it with me, man. What else can we tell you? Coming on April 17th is the IMC Fest. Going to be taking place at the IMC 202 South Broadway. April 24th, we have Jaclyn Savage who's going to be on here with us. Jaclyn Savage, keep turning. No, do it, man. Go do it. Jaclyn Savage is going to be here with us April 24th. May 1st, we're going to have, who's going to be here live with us in the studio? May 1st is going to be Empyrean Lore, a debate on decriminalization of drugs. May 8th is going to be Jack something. Jack Bentley's going to be here with us. All different scholars, man. Keep staying tuned with us. It's the show.
WRFU LP Urbana 104.5 FM. You are listening to the show.
You're listening to the show.
You're listening to the show.
Good evening, folks. It's WRFU here, Urbana 104.5 FM. I want to thank everyone for the time and attention. Right now, I'll give you a couple quick public service announcements coming up next, April 17th, at the IMT at 202 South Broadway. There will be the IMC Fest. You can catch it there. It'll basically be a lot of different bands and different forms of art being produced over there. Along with that, tomorrow there's a marathon going on. You guys know, are you taking part?
Oh, I'm not. But the roads are going to be all blocked off, so don't drive around.
Thousands of people are apparently going to converge to watch a marathon here in Urbana-Champaign for the first time. I'm not sure if this is the first one.
More than 10,000 runners.
10,000 runners?
That's what I heard.
If they all have one friend, imagine that. If they all have one friend. Who could think? And so, like I said, April 17th is the IMC Fest. You can come down there, take part in that. Along with that, there's April 24th going to take place. Jaclyn Savage is going to be here live in the booth with us. Empyrean Lore, DJ Zoe will be here. May 1st will be a debate on the decriminalization of drugs, along with a live band who's performing is Mick. May 8th will be John or Jack Bentley will be here live. But more importantly, right now, we have a special guest who's with us. Tell us your name and where you're coming from.
My name's Jaclyn O'Day. Currently, I'm the student body president for, I think, 4 more days.
4 more days. Who took your spot, by the way? I didn't catch.
Brad Tran. He's the current treasurer of Student Senate, so he'll be taking my spot in a few days.
How do you feel about that?
I think it's good. I'm excited.
Okay.
It's bittersweet to leave.
Where are you headed to next after this, by the way? Are you going to be here another year? Are you going to grad school? What are you doing?
Crossing my fingers, I'll find out if I get a job with the governor's office at the end of April.
Oh my God, for the governor?
The
Pat
new
Quinn?
one.
Or no, not Pat Quinn? Or
Pat Quinn, not Pat Quinn, thank God.
You don't know what you were doing there, what you're signing up for. Okay, and so you'll be here back from that sometime soon. What position will you have if you're there?
It's a 1-year fellowship with the governor's office, working in one of the offices.
Okay, you're working over there in Springfield, or?
Yeah, hopefully.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine that? What are you doing sitting next to me? You're asking yourself that.
Come visit down there if I get the job.
I'm trying to get out of here as quickly as possible. In terms of your time of the year, I mean, I always invite guests and I try to have like little conversations about what it's like for them to have a position. What was it like for you being student body president? Was it what you expected? Was it like, what was it like? Because most people may not know what that position is about.
Sure. I mean, I really enjoyed the position. I got to interact with a ton of students and really touch and see, every aspect of the university. Yeah. I think one thing
Did
that
you
really...
get harassment suits for that?
Hey.
You heard my story earlier.
I try to avoid those types of things. But, I mean, I think I was overwhelmed by and surprised by the amount of work that it entailed. But, I mean, it was rewarding. It was.
Give an example of some of the stuff that a student body president has to do. Because folks out there like, oh, man, you're just the head of the like a figure post almost. You don't really do anything. Your role means nothing. So.
Sure. So, I mean, this year I've served on nearly 30 different campus committees, touching on everything from dealing with deferred maintenance issues.
That's a lot of free food, girl.
You know what? I want to say maybe about 4/5 of those didn't have food. So
that is embarrassing for me.
These budget cuts are killing the university.
That's too many. That's 4/5 too many.
Yeah. So I mean, things dealing with deferred maintenance, dealing with the issues about global campus, also giving student input when series issues are coming up, dealing on the MTV contract negotiations, which is a big deal, multi-million-dollar contract, and a big thing that I've been pushing this year are our lobbying efforts. Okay. So just last week we had 170 students and alumni down in Springfield lobbying, and we had an awesome success. So.
How many Congress people or people from representatives did you actually get to meet with or interact with?
Well, I mean, we touched nearly every single representative.
You in the touching, girl? Was it?
Sorry.
It's not that kind of interview, girl.
We talked. We didn't get to talk with every single person. We interacted. We interacted with everyone to a certain level. Okay. Everybody got a portfolio in respect to how many students, alumni, as well as employees they have in their district, personalized. Okay. And then we got to talk to several of them as well. I'd say over 100.
Wow, that's a lot of people. One day or no?
One day, one afternoon.
Did you provide food for them, or how did that work?
Well, in the afternoon, we just pulled them off the floor. A lot of them are really busy because they're busy with third reading. And
God knows how busy they are.
And so in the evening we had a reception, but unfortunately they were all still in session and none were able to attend. But overall it was a huge success.
Okay. And in terms of the past year, what was some stuff like, for example, you going in there, I'm sure you had expectations for the year, no?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was actually really interesting. I looked over my goals list a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, wow, I accomplished a lot of these things.
Goals list?
Yeah, I set some goals when I came in as president. For example, one of them was to collaborate with UIS and UIC to lobby as a collective unit for higher ed. Did that. I pushed the collegiate readership program. I'm hoping that program comes to the campus and students can get newspapers all across campus every day. And all sorts of exciting things.
And so going in there, you had those expectations. Did anything fall flat or short of what you thought it was going to be? Was it like, something that fizzled beforehand or something like that? Or?
Sure. I was a bit surprised by the amount of administrative work in terms of emailing and getting documents to where they needed to go and, making sure...
You didn't physically have to carry anything? Did I got to carry this?
No, yeah. I hand-deliver some resolutions to administrators and say, hey, this is what students want. One of them I hand-delivered was the one that you may be familiar about in terms of integrating housing more and perhaps doing like a crossroads, like unit in each dormitory. So that's been an effort that we've been pushing with the Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs. And
to sort of randomize it, or what? What do you mean?
Well, what it would do is, if you're familiar with the Crossroads Living and Learning Community that the dormitories currently have, it's in, I think, just one of the residence halls, but a resolution was authored in Student Senate and that passed through. And with that, Vice Chancellor Romano is now looking to maybe create a segment of each different dormitory that has
that sort of aspect.
Yeah, that sort of aspect to it.
So, pretty cool.
Yeah, it'd be real cool.
Okay, so what fell short for the year? What was like something you thought was going to be all good and then was just like splat, didn't go the way it was supposed to?
Sure. I mean, it's a big process in terms of planning for the year. First learning everything. You get thrown in this position, you don't really know what you signed up for. And then from there, kind of figuring out who you're going to talk to make the connections. I think one thing that I was surprised kind of fell flat was we were trying to work together with all the colleges and universities in Illinois and create a Illinois Student Association. And we kept reaching out to these schools and no one would respond back except two of the schools, like Northeastern Illinois University and then also U of I at Springfield, and the other ones were just not having it. So took the idea and then turned it into a U of I coalition with UIC and UIS. So in the end it worked out, but it would have been cool if we had everyone involved.
Definitely. I can see that as well. Everyone's a student. Maybe the emails were defunct or they just weren't as on point as we were. In terms of interacting with other people and having issues pop up for the year that were just dramatic for no reason. For example, Mumford House. What the hell was the deal with Mumford House? Did you catch any? Did you care that Mumford House happened? Was that someone what the hell's wrong with these people, or what did you think when you saw that?
Well, Mumford House has a lot of history. It's I believe it's the oldest building on campus.
It is.
So it's no surprise that people are passionate about restoring it and putting it in good condition. Right now I think it's highly termite infested and destroyed.
Fantastic for you about it.
I think it needs a little bit of
yeah, we're getting better by the day, right?
Needs a little bit of love, I think. But the Board of Trustees committed at their last meeting to restore the thing, so that's good news.
When I thought Mumford House, what came to mind was that earthquake in Italy, all these 13th century buildings. Not that that's appropriate. I shouldn't be laughing at that. These 13th century buildings that just crumbled under the earthquake. I'm like, yo, these people are holding on to history so much tradition that it just like it crumbled underneath them because the times they just weren't ready for an earthquake. You know what I'm saying? Like their buildings couldn't support that, the infrastructure, they hadn't been, you know, the technology. And so Mumford House for me, you know, symbolized that. And I was like, come on, Mumford House, you know, because I had never heard of it, I'd never been in there, but I imagine in its current state, it can't be cool. It can't be someplace that I would want to go. Have you gone there?
I've walked by it several times.
Walked by? Have you gone in it?
Oh, no. I mean, I was a little scared. I almost thought it was kind of like a haunted house when I first saw it. I mean, all the doors and, like, windows were open, and I kind of walked by being like, what kind of building is that? I don't know if I really want to go in there.
Was it someone's house, or was it like an administrative office?
It's been vacant for, I mean, I think 2 years or so.
But we want to save a vacant house. We're going to spend a lot of money at the U of I to save Mumford House. Thank goodness. In terms of the past year, other issues that came up, Illinites and the funding being cut.
Sure.
What was the deal with that? I mean, did that get improved? Did that not get touched, or what?
Well, I think the deal with the Illinites was, I actually served on the Student Service Fee Advisory Committee when the Illinites funding was cut. And the committee really saw it that we were spending a lot of money and not providing programming to a lot of students. You know, it was, I think, somewhere around $11 or $12 a student we were you know, paying out. And the committee felt that, you know, the Illinites were going to kind of reevaluate where it was at. We took away part of the funding for the year, and we knew that instead of able to have events and perfect those and maybe concentrate on those events so that they can really perfect and get as much attendance as they can, and then from there, hopefully restore the funding in the future. And the funding, you know, did get restored with that, but you know,
to full capacity or what?
Yeah, it got funded to full capacity. But it's good now because I've been really impressed with their events this year. They've had a high turnout. You know, they alleviated some of the issues we had on the committee by, you know, partnering up with other student organizations and drawing out more people. And I've been to a couple of them this year, and I've been really impressed.
And in terms of other events, like for example, what was it, the Cotton Club? What group organization was it? I think it was a fraternity that held the Cotton Club at the Cersei. Did you hear about that?
I did hear about that.
What was the deal with the cops? I mean, did you hear anything about that? Did you like get upset about the cops breaking up the party or this pepper spraying and all that?
Sure. I mean, I wasn't there, so I mean,
Sure. Can we go to the videotape? No, we don't have that.
There.
We don't have that option yet, man. Maybe in future episodes we'll have like a little monitor. No.
I mean, but I heard two sides of the story, and if you're not there, it's really hard for me to make a judgment on what happened or
you heard two sides. What were the? I didn't hear any side. What were the two sides you heard?
Well, I heard students that were really upset that the cops, you know, used pepper spray and force, and they shouldn't have done this. But then I also talked to the cops, and I heard their side, and they said that they had given multiple warnings, and you know, they're dealing with issues of protecting themselves and trying to maintain the event. And they explicitly expressed that it's not their job to run the event because the organization was running it. But they said that they gave 3 or 4 warnings before they had to use mace. But you know, one thing that you know was very clear last year with the incident with tasing at another university is we don't tase here, and you know, I think that's great.
Because I mean, for me, when I heard that story, I was like, man, these guys are black. They're gonna get it. I was like, they're gonna get it good. But no, I thought about the situation. I was like, man, because every time we hear about something like that, and it was so color driven, needlessly color driven. It's like the party and all the situations that transpired seemed to be taking place outside of the party. And so the fact that they stopped the party without stuff actually happening inside sort of bothered me, because I was like, everyone who comes out on a Friday or Saturday night, they want to have a good freaking time. They've been dealing with the stresses of going, you know, through academics, and you just want to get your, you know, either your freak on, your drink on, your something on. And so when somebody breaks it up and now it's off, that's not good, man. That's not good for your, you know, relieving stress and whatnot. So I was a little bit bothered by that. Other situations that took place, the protest with the CIA. What the hell was the deal with that?
I have no idea. I catch that on the front page of the DI though, and I was like, oh wow, well, I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, the CIA has been protested all over the nation for years. I mean,
really?
Yeah, people don't like the CIA.
I don't know, man. I don't be paying attention to that stuff. Like, why should I care if the CIA is recruiting? Like, I mean, it's sort of awkward though, because they're trying to be stealthy on our campus, or at least it seems like that, because they stopped their meetings without going all the way through. Because it's not as if they went into the meeting, did they? Were people actually physically inside of the meeting and broke it up, or what?
I mean, well, technically you're not allowed to protest inside a building. It's like a university rule, but I'm not really sure. They looked like they were inside a building when I saw that picture, but I couldn't tell. I wasn't there.
Okay. You sure?
If only I had, like, a clone walk around and...
So if you had any advice you could offer to the person who's coming into your position, which is currently Bradley Fran?
Yeah, that's right.
I emailed him. He didn't come on the air. I said, you know, Bradley, would you like to come on the air so we could do an ingoing, outgoing, you know, student body president, do a conversation? He didn't reply. Maybe he didn't get the email, whatever. But any advice you'd like to offer to him, so, you know, for the year coming forward?
Wow. I mean, yeah. I mean, I kind of wish that I had someone who kind of coached me through everything and told me these are the people you need to know, these are the big issues and so forth. And I think I'm going to give that to him and kind of inform him. But I think that one thing is just keep an open mind, and you know, if your student group or a student asks you for help, you know, reach out as much as you can, because you know, one issue that student governments all over the nation deal with is, you know, tackling the issue about letting students know what they do and how they can help them, because we can help students in so many different ways. It's not even funny, but it's a matter of letting students know how we can help them.
And so, is there a consistent email that's offered to the student body president, or like one email that they can contact for, like, for example, for your year and for the following years? Is it the same email? The
same email that we have every single year is iss@uiuc.edu.
iss@illinois.edu.
I don't know if we changed it yet, but
it should forward. It should. Any last words and thoughts you'd like to offer to, you know, to anybody who's out there? Anything you want to say?
You know what? Student government can help you in a lot of different ways. I think that people just don't know what we do, and sometimes people have certain biases against us that we don't do anything. But
I still don't know what they do, man. You sat here for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I don't know what you do.
I mean, it would take me hours to tell you what I do.
Only 1/5 of your meetings were eating at? I don't know.
Not a lot, honestly. I haven't gotten that many free lunches. But
that is frustrating.
But honestly, no, there's so many ways we can help students. I run into students every single day, honestly, and I offer different advice and ways to get involved and ways to alleviate maybe disciplinary issues and things like that. So we're here for you. That's all I got to say.
Thank you to Jaclyn. Thank you for staying tuned with us, man. It's the show. WRFU Urbana 104.5 FM. Gonna switch back to DJ Geis, who's gonna kick it with us right now, man. DJ Geis is ready to go in the background. Keep staying tuned with us. It's the show, man. It's the show, just madness coming back and forth.
Yeah, a trillion. A lot of people asking, is that really 9 zeros? A trillion. Nah, homie, it's 12. A trillion. A trillion. A trillion. Lot of speculations on the monies they made, markets they played, pimping the system cause they run the game. They trades is inside of the old boy network. Money stays in as they build their net worth. Ledgers is cooked, the books get fixed, and if it all falls down, in steps the government. Oh, you bailed out, ish, no jailhouse. In my hood, you flip currency, get a charge for conspiracy. Admittedly, dog, all these numbers complicated. Stocks and the bonds and the inside trading, but I ain't in over my head when I know I'm getting jukes. How they ain't throwing the book at the Wall Street crooks. Look, if I was to flip money that ain't exist, or get a loan on my home and not pay back that interest will stack up, moving truck or back up, and the repo man will pack everything up, stuck and bankrupt, about to lose it all, and no one will come and save me with $1 trillion rewards. A trillion. A trillion. Haha. A trillion. That's what they giving out nowadays, man. Come on, look.